What up, everybody? Okay, so this has been a highly requested video on my Instagram, so we're gonna do an IGTV on it, possibly YouTube, depending on how this edit goes. So we're gonna do a makeup. I don't really apologize ever for the way that I look, but I am super embarrassed at my nails. You guys, so embarrassed, but we're gonna roll with it. So we're gonna do a full face of makeup. This is going to be, let me just preface by saying I am not a makeup artist. Everything that I have learned has been self-taught or just watching YouTube videos or whatever. I am not a professional. If you do not like the way that I do my makeup or have your own opinions, please keep them to yourselves because I am just providing this as a highly requested video. So I am going to post a picture of all of the products that I have here. I've already taken the picture and then I will probably try to list somehow the description of everything. I don't know if this is gonna be sped up depending on how long it is because IGTVs can only be 10 minutes long. So let's get to it. We're gonna do face, eyes, brows, all that jazz. I'm just using this Morphe makeup sponge. That's how I apply all of my foundation and everything. So first things first, I am using the Cover FX blurring primer and I'm just putting that all over my face. I did wash my face right before this and my hands, so everything is a clean slate to start with, and I just really rub that in really well before moving on. The foundations that I use are Dior Forever and Hourglass in Porcelain. The Forever, I am a shade 014, and I just really mix those two together. The Dior I put on my hand, and the Hourglass I just put right on my face, and I mix those together since I'm kind of in between colors, and I really like the Hourglass added to it because the Dior isn't as full coverage as I like personally for my makeup. So that is why I mix those two together, but the Dior Forever is my absolute favorite foundation. I've been using it for about 2 years now, and once I have that all in, I go in and set it with the Laura Mercier translucent setting powder. Instead of doing brushing strokes and moving the foundations, I try to pat it down really well before going in and doing any brushing strokes. So this takes a little bit longer because I try to be really precise with it because I don't want my foundation to move around before I'm setting it with the powder. And I just put this all over my entire face to cover everything, so when I go in with my contours, I'm not putting it straight on foundation and it doesn't get muddy and stick. It really blends really well on top of this translucent powder. Next, I'm moving on to my eyes, and I'm using the Morphe Jaclyn Hill palette, and I'm really going to focus on blending here. You will see that I blend back and forth for so long, and I've cut out actually a lot because this video was 40 minutes long to begin with and I had to get it down to 10 minutes. So I'm just going in that transition area and really blending out with that first shade that I am using. All of this I will link down below, the colors and the products that I am using for all of these, and I really take time to go in and check before I add any more color. I don't put very much product on my brush before moving on and adding more colors. So now I'm adding another a little bit darker shade, a little bit lower on my lid, and again, just blending that up and out because I'm really going for a smoky daytime look, if that makes sense, instead of really harsh lines. I don't ever want harsh lines on my face. I feel like that's not ever the look I'm going for personally, but you do whatever works best for you. So now I'm going in with the darkest color and I'm putting that very, very low and tight close to my lash and just in that outside corner, and really working to move this out and up and blend it into those other colors that I've already added. So just again, continuing to blend, blend, blend. And I'm using only 2 different brushes here. They're both Morphe brushes, and I think that they're just a normal fluffy brush. So now I'm going in with my highlight colors, and I like to mix these two together. And I do those on my brow, I do those on the corner of my eye, and then I kind of check, see if I need to add any more. I don't really blend these out too much. I really want them to kind of pop on the highlights of my face. So I don't do highlight on my forehead or my nose or anything like that. Now I am going in with a different Morphe palette, and I really like their neutral tones in here, and I'm covering the inner corner of my lid with those, just again to make it a more seamless look and blending everything together so there are no harsh lines. So I don't add very much here, just a little bit, enough to give it a little bit more dimension. And again, going in with 2 more darker colors, I'm gonna go back in and add to my lower lash line to make everything connected. I always add shadow and color to my lower lash line if I'm wearing eyeshadow, and I usually just bring those colors I used on my eyelid all the way down and blend those out as well and layer them just like I did on my upper. I'm talking so much because I'm on the phone with Jeremiah. Next, I am going to just moisturize my lips with this Bite Lip Moisturizer. I am really enjoying it right now over chapstick or anything else. I think it is from Sephora. Again, I will link all of these things below, and I'm just gonna let that sit while I continue to finish my eyes. As you can see, I'm going back in with that really dark burnt brick red and adding just a little bit on the outer corner of my eyelashes and really blending everything together to bring the entire look together instead of just having it on my upper eye. Now I'm going in with the Anastasia contour kit, and I'm using all three of those bottom colors to do my contour. I like my contour to be pretty blended as well as with the eyes, so I'm using a really big fluffy brush and really just packing that on. As I move down to my cheekbones, I want that to be a little bit more precise, but still very blended and no sharp lines. So as you can see, I'm really just spending a lot of time slowly adding color and really blending that out, checking it, and then blending out some more. I'm not really good at contouring my nose, but I do add a little bit of dark to the side with a fluffy brush because I don't want any harsh lines there. Next, I am going in with this Tarte Party blush. It is my favorite blush. I've been using it for a few years, and again, just putting that right on top of the contour to add a little bit of color. Next, I'm going in with the Becca Lilac Geode highlight, and I'm putting that just right up on my cheekbones and a little bit on my Cupid's bow, and then I check before I add any more because I never want my highlight to be too much. For my brows, I'm using the Anastasia dip powder, and I take a very long time with the brows. A lot of people compliment my brows, and I think that I naturally have a pretty good base that I'm starting with. I do pluck my own eyebrows. I don't wax them or anything, but I go very slow when I'm filling them in. So as you can see, I'm just doing a little bit at a time. I don't want to be too harsh. I like the outsides to look much darker than the insides, so I just add a very little bit on the inside and then brush that out. Next, I am just setting my brows with the Anastasia setting gel for brows, and I've been using that for years as well, and it really just glues them down and keeps them in place if you have, wiry or really long eyebrow hairs. Next, I'm going in and I am lining the inside of my eyelids, top and bottom, and I do that just to add a little bit of pop to my eyes. I feel like it looks really bare without it, and I usually do this every time I wear full eye makeup. So I go in and I blend it out after applying it, and I really don't, again, want any harsh lines, so I'm just blending before moving on to applying the rest of my makeup here. So I always check it and continue to blend. I would say if you're unsure of how much to blend, over blend. Next, I am using my Urban Decay All Nighter Setting Spray, and I really drench myself in this. I let it dry for a little bit, and I do not add mascara before this because if I do, it always transfers down onto my skin. So I do my setting spray first, and then I go back and add my mascara. And I am just using drugstore mascara. Maybelline Lash Discovery has a really tiny brush, so I like that as my first coat. And then I go back in with the Tarte Lights Camera Lashes, which I cut out of this video because you don't need to see me applying mascara twice. But I do use two different mascaras, one with a really small brush and then one with a larger brush. Lastly, I am just applying two different liquid lips, which I will link below, and that's it. That's my complete makeup look. It really doesn't take very long, probably 15 to 20 minutes, and you are good to go for day or night. Thank you guys for watching and requesting this video.